Hello, just waiting for somebody to come on. And it's about 6:35 a.m. here Sunday morning. If anybody decides I'd like to come on. Otherwise, I'll go and get some more sleep. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Why am I waiting? But it may well just be a bad time for everybody. Me included. And I do wonder, am I going to waste my time once again? Or is somebody going to come and say hello? That is always the big question. Or will I continue just to chat to myself? Maybe I should message myself that. Oh, hi, Prep for It. Hi. Nice to see somebody come on. I thought, goodness me, I'm just going to chat to myself. So, good morning. Hi. Or probably good afternoon where you are. And I'm just drinking coffee and waiting for somebody just to come on. 2:40 p.m. in Ontario. Yeah, it's about 6:40 a.m. here. Sunday morning. And it's very hard to pick a time when it does suit everybody. I believe it's probably like about 10:40 in London, or stuffed if I know, or 8:40 or something or other. And I do like to catch a couple from the UK who watch my videos as well, so just trying to find a time that suits everybody, which is not really that easy to do. So we see somebody else has come on, so don't be shy and say hello. And we might run a few channel links a bit later on if we can. Oh, yes, yes. Thailand 12 hours ahead. Thailand at the moment, because it's daylight saving time here, is 4 hours behind the time here in Melbourne. So, yeah. So I'd be very surprised if I got anybody from Thailand or Southeast Asia on, because they're all going to be still asleep. And 6:40 a.m. on a Sunday morning, I'd usually be asleep too. But I decided I'd run a live stream today. Just try and run a live stream over the weekend. Midweek didn't work very well for a live stream for me at all. Nobody came on. I guess everybody was busy. And it probably wasn't a very good time anyway. And how do you pick a good time is the big problem. And I did send Jocelyn, Hope for Life Walker, a message, but she's probably busy, so she mightn't get on. And I sent her a message just before I went on live, so yeah, she's probably busy. No, I haven't got a coffee grinder, and I should get one, but it's been very hard to get good coffee at the moment since all this stuff's been going on. Oh, I've got birds flying into the window here. The ground coffee that I really love comes from Indonesia, Thailand, or Vietnam. And you just cannot get those coffees in the supermarket. It's all this stuff from Brazil or Jamaica or God knows what. And I don't I mean, some of it's okay, but I don't really like those ones that much. I prefer the coffees from Southeast Asia. I just find the flavours of those coffees so much nicer. But the supermarket, it's all just this, well, a lot of it's rather generic. Oh yeah, the mail's very delayed here. Well, deliveries too. And for a long time, I wasn't allowed to travel to Chinatown with all this stuff, with this Wu flu, to go and get the nice coffee. And like the local Asian shop, she hasn't been able to get the nice Chung Nguyen coffee either, or a lot of the coffees from Southeast Asia, and she's only been able to get 3-in-1 coffee. And let's face it, that's better than the instant coffee. And I mean, I'm drinking instant coffee at the moment, just from the supermarket. And yeah, it's so. And probably what's making it worse is that I've been sweetening it with this stuff, and this stuff, it says it's stevia, but let's face it, it's not as nice or taste like sugar at all. It does sort of have a little bit of a bitter, funny sort of aftertaste, so I'm not really that much into it. And I would prefer to use normal sugar, to tell you the truth. But it is what it is. And I see somebody else flick in from time to time, but they don't say anything, so yeah, I don't know who that is. It's probably, you know, our beloved sub for subbers or something like that, who I don't really, I'm not a real fan of those people. You know, as soon as they get you to follow their channel, and then as soon as you're following their channel, they drop my channel, and yeah, I don't really like it. Well, yeah, I wonder if the stevia that you make yourself is better than the one you buy. I mean, this one I'm buying, it's not really that nice, and doesn't taste like sugar. And it's damned expensive. You know, like this little thing, I think it's about 3/4 of a pound. That was $6 or $7. And I mean, I can buy 2 pounds of raw sugar for $1. I mean, go figure. And if I just bought the normal refined white sugar, well, that's even cheaper than raw sugar. Yeah, all this sort of stuff is pricey here. You know, if it's some non-sugar sweetener, it's expensive. And too expensive for what it is, really. I mean, the only thing that's cheap is saccharin, and I mean, saccharin is horrible stuff. And I don't know why they even still sell that stuff. I'm sure nobody buys it. Oh, hi, Karen. Thank you for dropping by. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you loved the premiere. It was so nice that you could drop by, and I'm glad that you loved the shout out. And I hadn't done many shout outs for a while, and I thought, oh, I've got to do some more shout outs. I mean, I've got a few channels that have hashtag, whatever I've asked to hashtag, that they've obviously watched through to the end. And so, yeah, I better get some more shout outs. Oh, how many places? Yeah, well, it's one of the few exports that this country has. Beef and lamb and a lot of foodstuffs, but no manufacturing here whatsoever. That's sort of been killed long ago by government policies. And, a lot of stuff just coming in from where. The same place that's, savaged your industries in Canada and your industries in the US. Oh, hi, Wild. Hi there. Yeah, if you see my latest upload, I did do a shout out to you too, Wild. But yeah, lovely to see that you could drop by. I was wondering, is anybody going to come by? I mean, a Saturday afternoon for you guys is probably not really brilliant either. But yeah, it's about 6:45 a.m. here at the moment. Oh, hi, Mike. Mike the Caveman. I didn't see your message pop up, but hi there. I should say good afternoon. Oh, yes, well, I understand that, yeah. I mean, the bunnies, they need their feed and they need their water. And I guess when it's cold and freezing like it is over in your part of the world, water really becomes a concern. You probably can't run fresh water lines because they freeze and the water freezes, so you've probably got to go 2 or 3 times a day just to check their water and fill up their water. I understand. Whereas here, this time of year, if you've got pets, well, they drink their water really quick, or you get something horrible gets into their water like ants or bugs, or it evaporates. So you've really got to check their water quite often. Oh, yes, well, thanks, Wild. Yeah, I did give you a shout out in that video, so yeah, hopefully you like that. And that video is, though it's vegetarian, it's also gluten-free because I used rice noodles. Oh, yes, I could understand rabbits doing that. When I was growing up, I grew up on a farm, and goats and sheep would also poop in their water too, and cows. So you'd have to often clean out their water supplies because somebody had pooped in it or peed in it, and which goodness knows why they do it, but yeah, you'd have to clean it out quite often because, yeah, somebody had messed up, the water trough. Yeah. Silly animals want to go potty in their water and think, oh dear. But yeah, I'm just drinking coffee at the moment, and yeah, well, cats and dogs don't do that. That's true, but then cats and dogs, it's what they leave is pretty nasty and they know it, so they're not going to put it in their water. When you think about it, well, rabbit poop or sheep poop or goat poop, Sure, it stinks a little, but it doesn't stink nowhere near as much as like dog poop or cat poop. So yeah. You know, one might go out and collect cow poop or rabbit poop or whatever for the garden, but nobody's ever going to go and collect dog poop or cat poop for that thing. Oh dear, why are we talking about poop anyway? But I'm sure it gives everybody a bit of a giggle to talk about that. And I think I'm going to have to replenish my coffee. I mean, this time in the morning. And then I was up during the night just to run my premiere, because if I run a premiere, I do want to be online at the time to chat with anybody who's watching and to thank people for watching and interact with anybody who's watching. So yeah, I was up at 3 a.m. when my latest video went live, and now I'm up again. Well, I set my alarm to wake up at 6, and I had a shower, because goodness me, I needed a shower just to wake up, and came on here. Yeah, I know, I've been to a few people, been on a few people's premieres too, and they don't come on. And I sort of wonder, well, what's the point of running a premiere if you're not going to come on and interact with those who are watching? I mean, if I'm going to run a premiere, that's true, Karen. It's the least that I can do to be there and interact. And I'm just putting... Yeah, you should chat with them, absolutely. I'm just putting some water into the microwave to warm up. Oh, yes, rabbit poos, lol. I'm going to heat up some water and I'm going to make another coffee. Yeah, I think it's the main purpose of doing a premiere too, is that it's sort of a little bit like a live stream in that you can chat with your watchers. And I've actually found that generally if somebody comes onto a premiere, unless they're really busy, they'll watch from when they come on right to the end because of the interaction on my premieres, because I'm there chatting with everybody. So, you know, the people who do come on will give me a full watch, which that's really something. Yeah, so true, Mike. Yeah, well, that's right, Karen. Yeah, and, that's sort of a good reason to do it, because at least you do get some full watches on the premieres. And I mean, that's another reason why I do that little hashtag thingy at the very end of my video. I won't sort of do it through but I'll just do it in the ending part of my video, is that anybody who catches that has watched the whole video. And of course, anybody who watches my whole video, and I know they watch my whole video, I'm always very quick. They're the people who I give shout outs to. And I always run, if I do a shout out, I always leave links in the description to their channels, and I'll run cards during the video that, somebody could click on to go to their channel. Yeah, I didn't quite catch that one. I'll have to see. Something about samples. Yeah, it's neat to tag it, yeah. But yeah, we've got to do that. Oh yes, you're an actor there and you do voiceovers for many things. And prep for it, and I usually receive some samples of the products from the company. So next time I do a coffee commercial, I'll send you some. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, that's brilliant. And, you know, coffee here at the supermarkets, there's not really a lot of choice. There's a lot of brands, but they all taste the same. And invariably, it's always Italian coffee, espresso, espresso, espresso. And most of that you get here tastes burnt. So I'm not really a big fan. Although I have noticed that Starbucks has started selling some in the supermarket here recently, so I must get a few more of those just to try them. Because yeah, I get tired of the same brands, and the same brands that all taste the same, and it's not very exciting. Yeah, it's work sometimes, but it's fun. Yeah, I could imagine that. And just bear with me while I make some coffee. And instant coffee, which is, yeah, instant coffee, you know what that's like. And I'm going to put some real sugar in this one because I've had it with the stevia. I think the stevia will have to wait a day before I have another go at that. So yeah, just some real raw sugar. And I did see in the supermarkets, but it's blasted expensive. Oh yes, you've got to run. Yeah, I know. Monk fruit. I don't know what that one's like. I hope it tastes better than the commercial stevia, I tell you what. Because yeah, that stevia that I've bought, it's not nice. And it was so expensive. Yeah, it might be better. But it was like, you know, like this thing of stevia was about $6 or $7, and that's about 350 grams, which I guess is about 9 or 10 ounces, and that $6.50 or $7. I mean, goodness me. But the same size or a bit smaller of monk fruit was like $14. I mean, if they want you to use the stuff, I mean, at least have it better priced. You know, like 2 pounds of sugar, raw sugar, I can buy for $1. And refined white sugar's even cheaper. I'll just grab some milk. And yeah, it's just too expensive. Oh, I'm not even supposed to use my normal condensed milk, so I just got onto some evaporated milk just to at least get a little bit of the taste. Oh, goodness me. Oh, somebody's got some drunk customers. Wow. I missed that message. But I think around this place, with all the crap that's going on, I think all the customers would need to get drunk, because this place has just driven everybody to distraction. You know, the rubbish that you just see here. And even still now, you see single people alone in their cars, driving around with these stupid bloody masks on. One of these days, I'm going to run a live stream with another mask burning. I think I have to do another mask burning. Yeah, well, I think there's stupid people everywhere. And, you know, they're just bloody sheep who love these bloody masks. And, yeah, they make me bloody angry. And they're the first ones that tell you off, oh, put that mask up over your bloody nose. Well, you know what I say to them. And I can't really say it on YouTube what I do tell them about where they can stick their mask. Because, yeah, I just can't breathe with the bloody things. And probably a lot of people are saying the same. But, yeah, you know, like, I haven't been back there since I walked into the Salvation Army and just putting the mask on. Of course, I didn't have it up the nose. And I mean, I was putting it on anyway, just as I was walking in, and the woman at the door said, oh, put that mask up over your nose. Well, I told her to F off, and I walked out. And I haven't been back there since. Yeah, the minute I get out of the store or out of the mall, I rip it off too. And actually, a lot of the smaller stores now, if they're not in the mall, aren't requiring you to wear the mask. So, of course, I don't put it on in those stores. And you can really tell the sheep, because, you know, the sheep wear the mask walking into the stores that don't require it. And, yeah, there's an awful lot of sheep in this country. Far too many. You know, there's very few protests about all this stuff here, and yet, you know, I'll see on Rebel News where in Canada, for example, you have a lot of protests against all this stuff. And in the US, well, of course, we know there's a lot of protests against the state governors that are mandating all this stuff too. But this place, it's a country full of bloody sheep. You know, lick the government's boots and do everything the government says. Well, you know, I'll tell the politicians and the government where to go. And, you know, like a lot of these places that are wanting these QI codes when you go in, or give your name and phone number. Well, I just walk out. I won't go to those places, because I don't want the government in my phone. It's bad enough having the government in my bloody mailbox and everything else. I don't want them in my phone, and I don't want them in my email either. You know, they can go jump. Oh yes, a lot of cafes and restaurants, for example, are doing that. All with this contact tracing. Well, you know what they can do about that. You know, I'll end up, well, I'll cook it. Yeah, they want an app. No thanks, I'm not getting the app. And I've turned, you know, all those tracking features off on my phone. You know, they can stick all that as well where the sun don't shine. But anyway, that is what it is with all this stuff. And the big trouble is not enough people are standing up to it and saying no. Yeah, well, that's one thing. You can have a fake name and address. But that probably only works for a store that you haven't really used that much. And of course, the big thing is too, then, if you go and use like your Visa or MasterCard to pay, well, they've got your details from the bank anyway. So, you know, give a fake name and address and pay cash, I guess. But yeah, just Big Brother is too much interfering in people's lives. And, you know, all this woo-flu stuff, it's all just a cover for Big Brother, just to, you know, make our lives much harder and keep control and all that sort of thing. But we shouldn't probably talk about that too much here either. This platform, I know, doesn't really like that. But yeah, I did have another cook up and film last night. And I did an Asian style lamb and vegetable bake, which I do have some left over. So I'll just grab that and show you what I cooked up. So yeah, that one was lamb chops that I marinated in some Asian sauces, and I baked that on top of red peppers, some broccolini and asparagus spears. Oh yes, Mike, that's true. Yes, I've heard the same thing, and I probably can't say it here. But yeah, the great R, I guess we can say. Yeah, it was really delicious and colourful. And yeah, I've got a shopping haul where I bought the meat, and I've got to edit that, and I might get that up Monday or Tuesday, that video. And then this cooking the lamb video maybe up later in the week. So yeah, now I've got 2 videos in the bank that I've got to edit to get up on here. And I always like if I have a video or 2, you know, in the bank. Yeah, well, that one wild is not a stir fry. I cooked it in the oven and I baked it at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh yes, a seed swap. Yeah, I've seen a couple of people that are doing the what you call it, shed wars, that have been doing seed swaps. So yeah, baked stir fry, yeah, or baked non-stir fry, but using stir fry ingredients. And yeah, just another method to show if somebody's a bit busy and, you know, just want to put something in the oven and forget about it, instead of, you know, standing by the stove and stir frying. That's an option. And I've got to cut a lump of steak off tonight to cook up for my dinner, I think. I'll show you what I got. And this was on special from the butcher shop. And yeah, I'll get a few meals off that. $23 that cost me. But $20 a kilo, or about $10 a pound. And yeah, I've got over 2 pounds of this rump steak here. And it's about 1.5 to 2 inches thick. So I'll have some fun cooking that. Well, I'll cook about half of that and freeze the other half. Oh, yes. Yeah, well, our meat costs are, well, everything costs way higher than you, Karen, here. But that beef also, it's a little bit more expensive than the supermarkets by about probably 50 cents to $1 a pound. More expensive than the supermarket. But that beef is like prime yearling grass-fed beef as compared to whatever you get at the supermarket. And it's always nice and tender from that butcher shop. And I mean, butcher shop beef or butcher shop meat is always superior to what you get at the supermarkets. But oftentimes, you know, you'll buy from the supermarket just for convenience, and it's often a little bit more cheaper. But I definitely do prefer butcher shop meat. But unfortunately, generally, it's a little bit more expensive at the butcher shop. But I mean, you know, the butcher shop is, you know, a small business instead of, you know, the multinational supermarkets. So if we can support them, yeah, they do have much better quality. I think that's probably everywhere. You know, like yeah. Play With Me, I think, is a toy channel. I think I'm subscribed to Play With Me, and I've watched a few of your videos, Play With Me. So if I've missed you, hello. Sorry that I missed you. So Wild, I think if you went with that link, you would have the correct link. They are in my subscriber list, but probably nobody's got time to look through that. And I think Play With Me does do like, oh right, they used the sub and got hidden, yeah. So yeah, you mightn't be able to find her, yeah. And Wild, if you could run Prep for its their link too. I don't know if Prep for it's still here or if they've had to go, but yeah, if you could run their channel link. Oh yes, thank you, Play With Me. Yeah, sending the link to Wild. Thank you for that. And anybody else who I've missed here too, please say hi, and I'll ask if Wild or Mike or somebody will run the link as well. Yeah, thank you, Wild. Thank you. And yeah, whoever comes in, yeah. Oh yes, toys and drones now, yeah. Well, I must see what you've got with drones. I love to see drone footage. It's always really brilliant. But yeah, whoever comes on, if their links could be run, it's really great. Yeah, learning editing. Yeah, editing. Well, it takes as much time or as little time as what you want to put into it. And yeah, it can be quite an involved process. Like for example, a 20-minute video for me, it's generally about 5 hours editing. And if I put up like a 30 or 40-minute video, it can be like 10 or 15 hours editing. It can be an awful lot of work. It just depends what I'm doing. Some videos come together better than other videos. And some I have a lot of takes and whatnot, and a lot of bits to cut out or, put together or goodness knows what. And some videos just take more work to edit. And, like that video I did early January, that was about 12 hours of editing. And I think it was about a 10 or a 15-minute video, because I was pulling pieces out of a lot of files from everywhere. But yeah, every video that I put up, so I mean, that's why I like a live stream. It's so easy, no editing. Every video that I put up, I know that it's going to be 5 or 6 hours at least editing, and often double or 3 times that. And, I probably, compared to some people, I probably over edit, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my cooking and my video, so it is what it is. And I'm even fussy not to cut a song off, sort of whatever. Yeah, I know. Play with me. I know about the lockdown in the United Kingdom. It's pretty horrid. And yeah, I've got a lot of subs in the UK, and everybody's having a very, very, very hard time. It's about the 4th or the 5th lockdown, and it's just got beyond a joke. And I don't know what for another month while. I don't know what my friends in Canada think, but I'm of the opinion here, being a Commonwealth country, that it's time that the Commonwealth got the flick. The Queen and bloody Prince Charles and Camilla and friggin' William and friggin' Harry have done nothing for the people. They haven't spoken up, and they've just walked around wearing all their bloody masks like everybody else, being sheep. And they should be, that's my opinion, they should be kicked. They've done nothing for the people, and they're just a big drain on taxpayers' money for no benefit. I don't know if you in Canada think the same as me, or if you in the UK think the same as me. I'd be interested just to hear your opinion on those royal parasites, which I probably shouldn't talk about here either on YouTube. Oh, Wild. Yeah, thank you for running Karen's channel as well. And please don't forget to run your own links, also wild, and to run Mike's links. Oh yeah, Mike just says LOL, laugh out loud. Yeah, I think you know what I mean, Mike, but you're probably not going to say it on here. But I think, it's probably a bit of a feeling sort of everywhere, what I've just said before. But anyways, that is what it is. And it seems like we stuck with them. Yeah, reptiles, yes. Well, yeah, is it though? That's the thing. Is it, or is it just a new lie instead of a new strain? Yeah, everybody in every country. Yeah. Except here, there's very few that are fed up. It's a very, very, very small resistance. I mean, I'm obviously one of the people that's fed up, and I never believed their crap right from the start. And sort of the longer everything went on, yeah, represented by a stick, yeah, says it all. The longer that everything went on, the more and more sketchy it all became. But yeah, I do watch a channel who is based in Canada that's probably not very politically correct, but they do have the best news story, Rebel News, which I don't know if I could say that here either, but yeah, they're on YouTube. But I haven't watched the mainstream news media probably for the last 3 or 4 years. Half of what they say is shit and the other half's all crap. Yeah, a lot of people seem to love, yeah. And, play with me. If people just realise that they're parasites, they don't really do anything for anyone but themselves. And I look on the Google News site. When you click on the G for Google, it brings up all the news stories. And half the news stories about bloody Harry, bloody William, the bloody Queen, and friggin' Charles, and you think, oh, no, I don't want to see that. Air fast and it's not available. Yeah, I could understand that. Yeah. Yeah, well, they mightn't. Yeah, air fast. They might block that channel in other countries. I know there's a setting on YouTube where you can set your region, and you can have it sort of exclude from other countries, and I think some channels do that for like copyright reasons or what have you, because their content mightn't be really approved by the government of whatever country. Yeah, Diana and the boys. I liked Diana. And yeah, she was about the last one that I really liked. I mean, the boys have been corrupted. They're just on with all, very radical sort of crap that doesn't really, you know, have anything to do with the normal person or any good to the normal person. The boys have been corrupted by the whole system, I think. That's my view anyway. Yeah, well, she was really a nice, genuine person, Diana. And I mean, I'm of the opinion that, you know, that they basically killed her. There's much more to that than what they've let on, I'm sure. But yeah, she was really nice, and you know, she really cared about the people. Yeah, I know. Nobody can prove it because those in the know, if they've done something, have also got the power to cover it up and the money. And that seems to be a big problem with the world now, that there's so many people or corporations that have been allowed to get too big and too powerful. And, you know, we the people are just trodden underfoot. You know, like you've got certain computer companies, a certain telephone company or telephone manufacturer, computer manufacturer, certain media companies, certain investors, and these people have been allowed to get too powerful, too much money, and too big, and there's no competition anymore. And, you know, some fair competition is what really keeps everybody honest. Well, maybe wild, you mean appear to be sheep. I mean, you know, to be a sheep, in my opinion, it's an insult, you know what I mean? You know, a lot of people just need to wake up and stamp their feet and say, no more, enough, we're not doing it. But it's only a few that do it. And only a few who might, you know, quietly rebel and go about their lives without complying. And it's not enough people. If everybody stood up and said, stop, enough, all this rot would stop. Yeah, I think everybody loved Diana, play with me, I think. And yeah, well, she was really actually a caring person. Well, I mean, she married into the wrong family, to tell you the truth. If you know what I mean. You know, I thought, oh, Kate might have been okay, but you see William, he's going on with a lot of stupid stuff, following his father's footsteps, and I sort of think, oh no, goodness me, here we go again. And Harry, well, he's lost the plot for sure. Yeah, not good for everyone, yeah. And some people it corrupts, and some people, they buck the system, and yeah, the system destroys them. Yeah, well, thank you, Play With Me. Thank you so much for coming on. I much appreciate that. But yeah, you know, it's sort of sad the way that often happens. But anyway, that is what it is. And I could hear the birds outside, so although they've been up for the last hour and a half, but they're starting to make a bit more noise now. And the sun, well, thank you, Play With Me. The sun is rising probably about 10 past 6, quarter past 6 in the morning now. Although they play with our clocks here, so it should really be rising an hour earlier. Yeah, I'm not a big fan with the government playing around with our clock every summer, and I sort of think, well, what's the point? And it makes it hard to keep up with everybody else in the world. Yeah, just after 7. Yeah. And it would be, yeah. You're in the winter time now, of course, and no summer daylight saving, so yeah, I could understand it at that time. And I guess, yeah, I thought it might have been a bit later than 7. You know, here it rises in, you know, midwinter. You know, you're talking about like around the end of June. The sun rises about 7:30 or a bit after 7:30. Then sets, I think, a bit before 5:30 or something like that. That's in the dead of winter. And of course, in the middle of summer, well, the days are longer, but they're not as long as like what your days would be in Canada, for example. Certainly no midnight sun in this country in summer, which is just as well, because as bloody hot as it gets here, we don't want the midnight sun. Yeah, you get longer daylight, but you still have like a lot of cold weather to come, of course. And I mean, here the days are getting shorter, but we've still got a lot of, yeah, that's interesting prep for it. Yeah, my feelings about her is, yeah, we probably shouldn't go into that. Maybe the whole process and, you know, has changed her. But she might have been quite nice to start out with, but and of course the media hound those people too, so that would probably twist a lot of people. Just the media attention, and that could have a real effect. Oh yes, thank you, Karen. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you later. And I much appreciate you dropping by on my premiere and on my live stream. So yeah, my premiere, my live stream, a few hours apart, like about 3 hours apart. But yeah, have a great day, Karen, and take care. Yeah, bye, Karen, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And, that's another reason why I run these live streams. Yes, to help my watch hours, but also everybody can have a bit of a chat and, we sometimes come up with some interesting subjects, which makes things, yeah. You're just going to get some hot chocolate. Yeah, well, if I had hot chocolate now, which I do have some, I would probably fall asleep. So, yeah, I better keep the hot chocolate. I'll keep that for the evening. I would probably fall asleep, so better if I stick with the coffee at this time of day. And I might even be very naughty and sneak outside for a ciggy. Yeah, chocoholic, yeah. I love chocolate and I can't really have it. I mean, my last blood test was a bloody shocker for sugar, so I sort of got to keep away from a lot of that nice stuff. And the trouble is, a lot of the substitutes, and they all taste pretty bloody fake and pretty bloody awful. And for example, the doctor was saying, "Oh, well, you could probably eat less jasmine rice and go with basmati." Well, I hate basmati rice. Jasmine rice or Japanese rice, it's delicious. Oh, hi, Ranger of Rangers. Hello. And if somebody could please run Ranger's channel link. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really tried it. It's probably better now. I tried it once, like about 15 years ago, and it was bloody awful, carob. It's probably better now. But I did say somebody's got some sugar-free chocolate that I should try, so... And I think that's sweetened with monk fruit or something. Although it is a little bit pricey compared to like Cadbury or what have you. But I should try it. But I don't buy a lot of chocolate, because if I buy it, I eat it. So I don't buy it. And if I don't buy it, I don't eat it. But yeah, I might just sneak out and I'll have a bit of a stretch. And because this seat, I should go and find a pillow, shouldn't I? This seat, it gets a bit hard on the bum after a while. So I might go and find a pillow for this seat as well. and to open the door because it's starting to warm up here. So to let some fresh air come in. They are talking of it getting to like 90, 95 degrees. So, you know, well over 30 degrees Celsius for those who use Celsius. So another reason for an early live stream here before it starts getting too hot and I just want to melt sort of thing. And I guess those of you in Canada, you're probably looking at about minus at the moment. 10 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 15 or minus 20. So Wild, is that Fahrenheit or is that Celsius minus 20? I know it's cold, whatever it is. Oh, Celsius. But I believe that if it gets to minus 40 Celsius and minus 40 Fahrenheit is the same. I believe so. And I know that some of my watches do experience minus 40. For example, Rod Kaywood in Alaska, he does experience minus 40. And probably there's quite a few in Canada further north that experience minus 40 quite often. Also, you get that in your area too at times, Wild, minus 40. And that's colder than the big chest freezer here. Oh yes, so where you are, prep for it, it's 26 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 3 Celsius today. Yeah, minus 30 to minus 40 for a few weeks in winter, yeah. And I've watched a lot of videos where you guys walk around in the snow at minus 40 and the snow really makes a funny sound at that temperature. It sort of sounds like walking on, you know, those styrofoam beads where they're all, you know, separated, yeah. And that's interesting. Yeah, crunchy like chips, yeah. And never get anything like that in this country, even in the mountains. In this country, I think minus 20 might be the coldest it's ever got to, minus 20 Celsius. Everything crinkles like your coat, yeah. But here we will, like in the summer, we'll often get ridiculous temperatures like about 43, 44 degrees Celsius. Yeah, hard to video. Well, I guess keeping the camera, you know, the battery up to your camera and the phone is the big problem, because when it's that cold, your batteries just discharge so quickly. And I guess, you know, like ice and condensation forming in the lenses, it just makes it difficult. Whereas here, it's just difficult to get out and do it. And like, I have such trouble this time of year with cooking videos with the sun. You know, the sun when it gets low, and the sun's so bright and intense, even when it's down near the horizon, and the sun will wash out all your colours when I'm filming. Yeah, a few days close to 40, but not many. Yeah, well, I don't like 40. And, you know, even 30, I think is getting a bit much. You know, once it gets to about 86 degrees Fahrenheit, I think, yeah, that's enough. And of course, you know, here too, the sun is so intense that you can get sunburned in as little as 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. So the sun is not our friend down here, especially in summer. And I can hear all the turtle doves there making a noise. I don't know if you can hear them on your end. But yeah, they're doing a fair bit of calling here at the moment. And well, they always do in the morning and evening as well. So if you've got anybody else who's dropped by, or anybody who'd like to ask me a question, or got a funny story to tell, or whatever, thank you, Prep for it. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, I should do some shopping today later, but well, more just to buy some more soda or something like that, but I can't really be bothered, so it may wait until tomorrow, till Monday. Although I do hear that Monday's going to be like 100 degrees Fahrenheit down here, so whether the shopping will happen on Monday with that temperature, who knows? Because the thing is too, like, it's hot, and then we have to wear the blasted mask in the mall. And it's just not at all nice. So yeah, I'm going to have to do another mask burning video sometime soon, I know. Yeah, it is crazy. And of course, you know, it just makes me angry having to wear the bloody thing. And it's bad enough wearing the bloody thing when it's cold. So probably the only time that wearing the bloody thing's comfortable is like if it's -10, -20, -30 or whatever. Otherwise, it's just uncomfortable and not at all nice. And of course, breathing through a smog is quite different when it's cold than trying to breathe through one of these blasted masks. So anybody else with any questions or remarks or stories? Or otherwise, I'll run this live stream another 5 or so minutes and call it a day. Try and catch up with a bit more of my rest. I mean, so far, yeah, if you can't wear a mask, you can get delivery, can't go in the store, yeah. And, you know, often when you try and get a delivery, oh, we've got no spaces available for delivery until, you know, next week. You know, 5 or 6 days. That they're just so busy doing deliveries that they've got nobody to do deliveries until 5 or 6 days time, so that's no good either. I don't know if you found that where you are, Wild, but over Christmas I thought, oh, I'll just get some deliveries because the supermarket had some special deal with a delivery, and I got onto the online site, you know, to order stuff. And then get to paying, you know, when do you want it delivered? Yeah, well, I was going to get stuff that, you know, that not meat, fruit or vegetables, things that I do like to pick. Oh, well, the earliest we can deliver is like in a week's time from the day when I was doing. So I just cancelled it because I'm not waiting a week to get my things delivered. You know, especially, you know, things like groceries and that. I've spent enough money on those things, and so I want them when I want them. I'm not going to be waiting a week for those things to come and have to go to the supermarket in the meantime anyway to buy things that I do pick out, or to go to the greengrocer or the butcher, because yeah, you know, I like to choose my meat and my fruit and my vegetables. Yeah, well, I guess Walmart are probably a bit better set up than our supermarkets here. You know, like that was from a supermarket here called Woolworths, which is a bit more expensive than Aldi, but Aldi don't have the delivery service. And even though I do often buy things from Aldi, I still have to go to the other supermarkets because Aldi doesn't always have everything that I want. They might be good to get a few things. Oh, Walmart bought them out. Oh, I see. But yeah, we don't have Walmart here, so, and you can't even buy Walmart. Oh, hi Dustin. Thank you for coming by. And Dustin, please do run your channel links and your Instagram links. Please do feel free to run those on the chat. So, what are you up to at the moment, Dustin? Filming or just finished filming for another overnighter or just a quiet night at home. Yeah, thank you, Wild. Oh yes, just chilling, 9 p.m. here. Oh wow, yeah, I was wondering what time it was. It's sort of why a reason drinking your one and only beer. It's one of the reasons why I ran my live stream so early, just to hope to catch a couple of my viewers. And I filmed this one last night for my drink review. Copperberg hard apple cider, which is about 7% alcohol volume. And that was really nice. Oh yes, you can see my nice chopping board. And this, of course, is Dustin's chopping board. And it gets an awful lot of use here. Cooking good in the woods. Yeah, next to all my other chopping boards. Yeah, a bit of clutter on the sink. But it gets an awful lot of use. And it's just a brilliant little chopping board. And I'll often use it like if I'm slicing up some cheese and making a cheese board or something. It's brilliant for that. And of course, the titanium spork, well, that gets a lot of use here too. Well, that one gets an awful lot of use. And I've got that one just up here. And it gets a run from time to time if I've got something small or not much to put in. But yes, it gets an awful lot of use. Pretty close to in reach. Brilliant little wooden bowl. And I do love to have a wooden bowl and a wooden chopping board or two around. It's always good to have. And I thought Hope for Life might have dropped in. I did message her just before I started the live stream, but she's probably a little bit busy. But yeah, things here are starting to warm up. Must see what the temperature is. .63, so that's not too bad yet, but I think it might be getting up to 90 or so. Oh, pork roast. Oh, brilliant. And getting some pork from the farm like that, it would be lovely pork. Oh yes, so she has great beef, but you wanted to try the pork. Yeah, well that sounds really good. And Dustin, if you're still here, I must show you what I've got. Talking about beef, you'll laugh at that. We've got a rub steak. It's a bit over a kilo, 3 pounds. It's 1.5 inches thick. And yeah, I'll cut a chunk off that and cook that up for my dinner tonight. Yeah, it is really a beast, and it would really go well on one of your cook-up videos in the woods. Imagine cooking a piece of steak like that over the fire. That would be brilliant. But here, oh, I've got to have it medium rare. Yeah, well, this beef, it's grass-fed, yearling beef, so it's supposed to be good. But from that butcher's shop, it is always really, really, really nice beef. A little bit more expensive than the supermarket, of course, but really nice beef all the same. And I'll show you something else that I got from the butcher shop. I put it in the freezer because I'm not ready to cook it yet. Oh dear, things dropping out of the freezer. You will laugh at me there. And that was reduced to $34. And that's a piece of beef yearling roast. $17 a kilo. 2.2 kilos of that. And that big piece of beef, I'll get a couple of recipes out of that one. But it was getting close to the use by date, so when I bought that the other day, I put it straight into the freezer because I just wasn't ready to use it yet. Oh yes, there'll be a few meals out of that one wild. I'll probably get 2 recipes out of that. And then, of course, each recipe I have, well, I've always got lots of leftovers. For example, the char kway towel that I did had premiering earlier. That was about 3 or 4 meals out of that. And you know, with using one packet of the rice noodles, be about 3 meals, and if you use 2 packets, it would make 5 meals. And sort of that's why I quoted sort of 3 to 5, and also quoted like 1 packet of rice noodles or 2 packets of rice noodles, just depending on how many people that you had to make that one for. So like for you and Mike, 1 packet of rice noodles would be enough, and you'd have some leftovers as well. And of course those rice noodles that I used are gluten-free, so you know, if you looked up rice noodles and read the fine print to make sure they are gluten-free, they'd be fine for you to use wild. And of course that recipe, you could add a little bit of beef or a little bit of pork as well, if you so wish. Ah yes, Wild, please put your channel link up so yeah, Dustin can have a look. But yeah, I've got that shopping haul video to put up. Well, I've got to edit that one yet. When I did buy the steak and the beef and the lamb and whatnot. Something like I didn't have a lot of stuff, and yet I still spent over $100. But you know, probably about $70 of that I spent was meat. So yeah, that sort of made things interesting. And you know, shopping here, it is getting rather expensive just to buy, you know, your everyday needs and everyday supplies. And so, you know, things like meat or whatever like that, it's just easier and better just to buy it in bulk. Yeah, meat is expensive, and fruit and vegetables too. About the only thing here that's cheap at the moment and I mean I've taken one out at the fruit and veggie shop, 99 cents for 2 pounds of bananas. That is about the only thing that is cheap at the moment here. Bananas. It's bananas. So yeah, that makes things interesting. And I must see what else, what I've missed here. An avocado. Well, it depends, but at the moment they're about $4 a piece. Oh, so they're cheaper in the UK than they are here at £1 a piece. But yeah, they're about $4 a piece at the moment. So I don't really buy them that often unless they're on sale. And then I might sort of, you know, take all the pulp out and freeze them if they're on sale. You know, if I want some avocado for some guacamole or something, then at least I've got it in the freezer. And the cheapest I've ever seen them here is about $1 a piece. That's the cheapest I've ever seen them. But generally a cheap price here is about $2 a piece. But they're $4 at the moment, so unless I really, really, really want avocado, I'm not paying $4 for a piece. Yeah, I know. That's the thing, Wild. Buying them here is often like the same between, you've got the one extreme where they're as hard as a rock, or the other extreme where they're squishy. But how to buy them when they're just right in the middle, just right, is almost impossible. And when they're as hard as a rock, they seem to take an awful long time to ripen. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, Dustin. Yeah, but watching a cooking show, well, that sounds interesting. But yeah, I don't really cook with them that often because they're generally too expensive here. And often, you know, things like asparagus. I did cook asparagus last night, but I don't often cook that because that's often so expensive here. But there was a bunch of asparagus and it was about $3 or $4, I think it was. And I thought, well, that's not too bad. Yeah, apparently, yeah, I must try that and see, Dustin. I don't really have that much experience with avocado, so I don't know. And it's like buying mangoes here too. You don't always get them just right, and they're generally too expensive. You know, when they're cheap, they're $2 a piece. But often you're paying like about $4 or even $6 a piece. And there's just so much seed or so much stone in a mango that they're not really good value to buy. And I really miss Thailand for that reason. I mean, you could buy a box of mangoes for like the equivalent of about $2 in Thailand when the mangoes were in season. And I'd buy like the green mangoes and make mango salad. Yeah. Yeah, what are they called again? Hold on. You're not thinking of like those little longans, are you, Dustin? Yeah, longan. They're like a small lychee and even sweeter than a lychee. Yeah, longan. Oh, lychee. Yeah, lychee are the... If you ever try, if you're in Thailand, Dustin, if you see longan, Longan, get those. They're absolutely delicious. And they're even sweeter than a lychee. And these longans, they're what they call wild lychee. But yes, I love lychees too. Yeah, there's longan in the shops here at the moment. But they're about $12 or $13 a kilo. And there's an awful lot of waste with those. And lychees are probably about the similar price per kilo at the moment. I must get some longan and feature them in a video. I'll have to do that. And another thing that's very expensive here at the moment, and they're supposed to be in season, is cherries. They're wanting about $14 or $15 a kilo for cherries, and I'm not paying that. I mean, I love cherries, but they're just too expensive at that. Yeah, well, I will have to feature that. Yeah, I was wondering that Dustin wears Hope for Life. I did message her before I started the live, but she must be busy. Ah, so what, frozen grapes? Well, she might be too, Dustin, yeah. Yeah, she might be. I'd say probably more likely the kids are running her up the walls at this time of day. What time is it at your location, Wild, at the moment? And Hope for Life, she's in Florida, so that would be about, what, an hour later than than you, Wild? Oh, yes, so, yeah, she's probably at about 4, you're 4:22, so she's probably at 5:22 p.m., so, yeah. The kids are probably running her up the walls, and she's probably getting ready to cook dinner and, yeah, got a lot on. And here at the moment, it's about 8:22 a.m. Sunday morning. Oh, I can hear voices outside. It must be the neighbours, I'm sure. Or the voices are really carrying up from the creek where the walking track goes by the creek. So, has anybody else got any questions or any stories? I'm thinking I'm going to be very lazy today. I run a premiere at 3 a.m. this morning, so I was awake and up for that, and then awake and up, had a shower at 6 a.m. this morning. I had a shower just to try and wake up a bit to run this morning's live stream at 6:30, so I might have a bit of a lazy day today, and it is supposed to get quite hot later. 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 90 odd or 35 degrees Celsius. So, yeah, I think a lazy day. I was going to go to the shops and get some more soda, but according to my analytics, I mean, that's why I run these times. Reconnecting always seems to do that when I'm running a live at about 1 hour 50, but most of my viewers, Dustin, is the United States of America is number 1, Canada number 2, UK will be number 3, and Australia right down the bottom. And if I didn't run my own videos and even just run some things even with my other channel just to get some watch hours up, it probably wouldn't feature. But yeah, like I'll often have like Europe show up. I've even had Russia show up in my analytics before. Southeast Asia, different countries in Southeast Asia will often show. The United Kingdom, of course. Yeah, Canada. Yeah, Canada is often like about number 2 at about 5%. And UK a little bit behind that at about 3. United States, we're looking at about 20%. And we'll often even climb up to like about 30. And Australia, 1%, if it features. Oh, I missed that one. All right, yep. Yeah, I see that. Wild. Oh yes, with the shed wars. But yeah, I'll get very few viewers from here. New Zealand, I might have one person from New Zealand who watches on occasion. And I have about 3 channels here from Australia who watch on occasion, but that's it. And they probably only watch me here because I watch them. And I'm sure you probably know some of them who watch me wild. Michael O'Donnell is one who watches me from time to time. You'd know Michael from Shed Wars. Trying to think who else. Not many from here. And yeah, my watch hours definitely does need a boost along. I haven't looked in the last day. I think I looked about 2 days ago and I was on 1,390 watch hours for the last 12 months. So yeah, I've got a fair bit more what I need. You know, to get above the 4,000 watch hours. You know, so yeah, anybody who can run my playlists, that would be much appreciated, and to run them at night while you're sleeping even would be wonderful. And I know Karen was doing that for me, she said, which is lovely. And I have another account here that I don't put any videos up on, and I often use that account for running other people's playlists at night. Anybody who needs a bit of help with some watch hours. And you know, I'll run that of an evening and watch whatever I want to watch as well. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Wild. Yeah, but probably a lot of people here also aren't really that interested in my content, because I aim my content more at the Northern Hemisphere. Do you mean this one, Dustin? Yeah, it's stevia, but it's not very nice. Oh, that's chocolate. Kind of like Milo, but just, you know, the supermarket brand of choc malt. And yeah, I'll often have like one of that of an evening instead of a coffee. Otherwise, if I have too much coffee at night, I won't sleep. Yeah, great for camping. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm not really, I mean, I will drink Bacardi, Dustin, but I'm not really such a big fan of rum. I much prefer like you know, maybe a whiskey, for example. I don't mind a gin. I'm trying to think what else. that mead. I must feature that spider mead, Dustin. I must feature that. Oh, now you're talking. Yeah, that stuff's the bomb, Dustin. Jaeger, yeah, it's the bomb. But it costs a bloody bomb here too. And yeah, there was a drink when I was young and silly living in Jakarta. There was a drink, Jaeger bombs, and that would be a big glass of beer with a shot glass of Jaeger dropped down into it, and oh dear, that was a problem. Oh, Red Bull. Never tried Jaeger with Red Bull. Red Bull and vodka was always the go when we were clubbing, and you know, about 2 a.m. when we were all getting a little bit tired, the Red Bull and vodka would come out. A can of Red Bull with a good shot of vodka inside just to spark us up. And about 2 a.m. when clubbing and we're all getting a bit tired and sleepy, and you know, somebody's been playing the Sambuca shots and all sorts of silly things like that. A Red Bull glass with a shot of Jaeger. Yeah, well, that sounds interesting. But yeah, that's in my day of clubbing. It was a Jaeger bomb was like a glass of beer with a shot of Jaeger dropped in it. So yeah, but Red Bull and vodka was what was drank just to wake us all up a little bit when we were all getting a bit sleepy. And this one, if you want to really spark your coffee up, oh, Sangsong, oh yeah, that can be dangerous. But yeah, this one, triple sec to spark up your coffee, is quite nice. I mean, if I had more money, I'd be going with Contro and coffee. And I learnt that Contro and coffee trick in Vietnam when I visited Vietnam at one stage. The orange coffee. But yes, Sangsong can be, oh, Khao San, bro. Yeah. Oh, hi, Todd. Thank you for dropping by. But yeah, I know what you mean with that one, Dustin. I mean, Khao Song Road was generally a place, even though I was living in Bangkok, I'd stay away from, because, yeah. And actually there was a lot of far cheaper places where, you know, only the locals and the expats go. Cheaper to drink and cheaper to eat. Yeah, Backpacker Central. And of course, you know, the prices went up. I mean, yes, cheaper than Phuket for sure, but you know, far cheaper places around Bangkok. Oh yes, around Chinatown in Bangkok. Yeah, well, you can get a few good deals and you know, some cheap places to eat and drink around Chinatown. And especially if you sort of get off the beaten track a little bit where only the locals and the expats go, you can save some money. You know, and like if you go somewhere and you see a tour bus pulled up outside, well, that's a good sign to avoid the place, because you'll pay double or 3 times what it's really worth. But yeah, I always found that anywhere that's got a tour bus pulled up outside, Or, you know, for example, if there's a lot of tuk-tuks outside, because let's face it, backpackers love tuk-tuks, it's best to avoid. But like if there's a lot of motorcycle taxis outside a place, that's a good place to go. Because, you know, Thai locals will generally use like song towels, which, you know, is those little buses made up on the back of a truck, or motorcycle taxis. A taxi rank can be either or, because I mean, Thai people, especially the richer Thai people, will use taxis if they're not driving. But a lot of, you know, the general Thai population will use the motorcycle taxis every day, or use the song towels, or BART buses is another name for those things. And that's basically like a Hilux truck with a cover on the back and like a seat on each opposite side on the back of the song towel. But yeah, all very interesting. But yeah, I only ever done it once, and I learned never to do it again, is Khao Sang Road during Songkran, the water festival. Oh my goodness, madness. And I mean, very, very funny, but you probably, you want like, if you're going anywhere in Thailand during the water festival or Songkran, you probably want to put your phone inside a double Ziploc bag, because just so much flower water and God knows what flies through the air at that festival, or even flower paste. And I don't know, Dustin, had you ever been in Thailand during Songkran, which is early April? Oh, New Year's. Yeah, well, New Year's is crazy, but Songkran is a whole nother level above New Year's. And Songkran is the Thai Buddhist New Year. Yeah, the water festival. Yeah, well, the water festival is a whole, yeah, it is insane. It's a whole different level above New Year's. You know, if New Year's and Khao Sang Road is crazy New Year's, the water festival is a whole nother level. Good fun, but don't go out wearing any clothes that you value. If you go with your phone or your purse, wallet, whatever, make sure it's well sealed in at least two Ziploc baggies, because you will get wet and you'll get covered in flour, you know, like baking flour, paste, water, just the flour, talcum powder, and goodness knows what. You will get covered. And even more so, because if you look like a phalang, you're going to be the first person targeted. Phalang is the Thai word for European. And phalang is actually also the Thai word for guava. And I'm sure, Dustin, when you've been in Thailand, you've heard the term phalang or farang. Yeah, that's basically what it is, the Thai term for European. And so at Songkran, if you look European, you're going to get targeted straight off. But yeah, I don't know if I said hi to you, Todd. I didn't see you pop in, but then, you know, my messages sort of pop up so quick on the screen here that I often miss things, and I sort of keep this other phone nearby just to catch the other messages. And yeah, at the moment I've got 2 phones, but only 1 SIM card, so I sort of use this just as a another device to run, you know, some playlists or whatever. But yeah, that's a big change since being here, I've found, is only having 1 phone. When I lived in Indonesia and I lived in Thailand, everybody had 2 or 3 phones. I had 2 or 3 phones. And you'd have like all on different networks. And that was because the networks were often quite patchy. I've been here 5 or 6 years, Dustin. Before that, I was living in Bangkok and Samut Prakan in Thailand. And I'd lived in Thailand for about 8 years. And before that, I was living in Jakarta, Indonesia. And of course, I do speak Indonesian. Aku bisa bicara bahasa Indonesia dan bahasa Melayu. Bahasa Indonesia dan bahasa Melayu 80% sama-sama. And what I just said was, I speak Indonesian and Malay language. The Indonesian and Malay language is about 80% the same. And so that's probably a bit of interesting trivia for whoever's watching, that I do speak some languages other than English. Dijan put bahasa Thai nit noi ka. I speak Thai a little. I love Thailand, but also when I was living in Thailand, quite often we'd go and we'd do like a visa run to Laos. And if you ever get to that part of the world, Laos is really worth visiting. And Laos is like Thailand, but about 30 years in the past. So if you ever get there, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than Thailand and very friendly, very relaxed. And yes, it is really nice. Another place we'd often go and do a visa run to was Cambodia. Phnom Penh is nice, but I don't want to do that, Dustin. Thais, no. I mean, some people in country areas may, but it's not, and it's pretty frowned upon in Thailand to eat dog. And Lao the same as in Thailand. I mean, you know, you'll put a bowl of food out for the street dog in Thailand or Laos. You don't eat your friend. Oh yeah, I think they do in Cambodia, yeah. I found Cambodia to be very, very, very sad. Yeah, yeah, I'd say that, Dustin. And, you know, I'd often be at a place, we'd go for a visa run, for example, at a place called Poi Pet. And I'm trying to think the Thai town on the other side of the border, but Poi Pet was in Cambodia. Yeah, well, beef and cows, yeah, but the big thing is beef and cows are not as self-alert or self-aware as dogs are. I mean, dogs and cats are a whole higher level. You know, their self-awareness. But yeah, I think they might in Cambodia. But yeah, I found Cambodia, it's very, very, very sad. You know, like every day the amount of beggars that would cross just over the border into Thailand. And we're talking about beggars that have had like arms blown off, legs blown off, with all the mines that are still around in Cambodia. And it's just a very, very, very sad country. Extremely corrupt, of course. And the poor people have got a really, really, really difficult life. And so I think maybe a lot of this eating of unacceptable animals comes from the economic, if you know what I mean, because Cambodia being Buddhist, to eat dog or cat is actually a very big no-no with that religion. And it's like my saying, you don't eat your friend. And that's basically what the local people in Thailand believe, and what they look upon as dog eating, as that you don't eat your friend. You know, my dog is my friend, he's my helper. But you know, I have eaten some interesting things. Some of the same things as what you've eaten in your videos, Dustin. But if I saw somewhere where dog or cat or monkey was on the menu, no, I'll just turn tail and walk out of that, because that's just, I don't want. You know, it might be fun to try grasshoppers or something like that, but I mean, that's sort of the limit. Not that I'm a fan of eating grasshoppers. I found the legs get stuck in your teeth and they're horrible. But some of the bugs they have are actually not too bad. But grasshoppers, no. And probably scorpions, no. Unless it was a really, really big scorpion that you could take the shell off, you know, sort of like the size of a shrimp or something. Yeah, with a spray of soy or sesame oil. Yeah, well, that's sort of the general way that they would often have bugs, yeah. And yeah, there were some of the bigger ones that you could take, you know, the shell off. That actually weren't too bad. But I'm probably, you know, in Thailand, I'm a more of a fan of the seafood. I love the barbecue catfish that they have around the street markets. I've never tried witchetty grub. Never tried it. But yeah, oh, I don't even know where to find them, Dustin. Yeah, please do it for a video. Oh no. I think if I did that for a video, I'd have to run my PayPal on the video first. My PayPal get to you know, my buy me a coffee. If I get $500, I'll eat a witchetty grub. Yeah, you probably would, yeah. But yeah, you know, oh, what was I going to say? Another favourite in Thailand. Oh, I love the suckling pig and their pork barbecues as well. Oh yes, we'll do it in a Zoom call. Yeah, I don't know if our mailing system would send it. Our post is very funny on what they will send. I had a friend wanting to send me some nail polish, and they wouldn't even allow to send that. No, they wouldn't, no. But yeah, they're all very funny on what they will send here. So yeah, I guess, yeah, witchetty grub. The only way you could probably send a witchetty grub is if you're allowed to send alcohol. You know, the little grub in the bottom of the tequila? You can always say, oh, this is a bottle of San Joe or whatever it is, tequila with the little grub in the bottom. And drop a witchetty grub in the bottle of tequila. You could maybe get away with sending it that way. But yeah, another interesting thing, I don't know if you've ever tried it, Dustin, or two interesting things in Thailand. One was ant eggs and another one was mosquito eggs. The mosquito eggs I thought were a little bit, well, they sort of like grit. They weren't really that nice, but yeah, ant eggs are really good. Mosquito eggs, not so much. Yeah, the honey ants. But the mosquito eggs, it's probably more the novelty of eating that thing which plagues us. And I'm sure that's why a lot of people in Thailand probably eat the mosquito eggs, because they're getting one back on the skeeters. But no, ant eggs are really good. But yeah, you can find some very interesting things around Thailand. And one thing that I miss here is, of course, that, you know, you'd have nearly every day in Thailand is the drinking coconuts. And I missed that here. I mean, you can buy them in the supermarket, but, you know, a little young coconut, you're looking at about $5 or $6. So It's a bit much. Also, Dustin, what's your thought on durian? That's a good question for you. Well, yeah, but you know, the stinkier the durian, the better it tasted. But it is a pretty controversial thing. It's sort of, it's a love or hate sort of thing. Yeah, it's actually, yeah. And often it's sort of like, tastes almost like an ultra rich, over rich custard. And an over rich custard that's just on the point of going to turn, I guess you could say. I like it, but a lot of people don't. And a lot of people, it is the smell that puts them off. 200 metres down the street. Sometimes it's 500 metres down the street you can smell it. But yeah, you can always smell it a long way away. The durian stall. Oh yes, many of the hotels, yeah, and also public transport. You know, no durian. And of course, you know, the funny thing is in durian season, you'd often see groups of people sitting outside the hotel eating their durian because they couldn't take it into the hotel. So, oh, we've bought all this durian, we better eat it up quick. And of course, there'd be some seats outside around the hotel where they could have their durian. But another thing you'd see from some hotels as well is they wouldn't just ban durian, they'd also ban mangosteen. You know, the little purple fruit? As you break him open, I think there's about 5 or 6 sort of, looks like pods of white flesh inside of it. And if you ever get a chance to try that one, mangosteen, it's really delicious too. Yeah, it is pretty cool. And, you know, like the Thai would say, durian is a hot fruit and mangosteen is a cold fruit. You know, you'd eat durian and you'd warm up. And you eat mangosteen and you cool down. And some in Thailand would say you should never eat durian and drink alcohol at the same time. Oh, well, looks like everybody's dropping off to do a few other things. Yeah, thank you, Wild. Yeah, been to some interesting places, and Dustin too has been to some interesting places. And you know, I wish for all this stuff to end, that we can get back to all these interesting places. The travel restrictions are really starting to wear pretty thin. Anyways, yeah, well, That's probably your new camera, Dustin. I know. I mean, your videos are brilliant. I've always said they're brilliant right from the start. But yeah, I think, you know, maybe that new camera you got, you know, your picture quality is really jumped up a notch with that new camera, so that's definitely made a difference. And I think it's probably not just the camera, but just like the different lenses, and you know, that you can zoom in further or zoom out further, and the aperture of the lens just makes a difference. I mean, you know, if I won the lotto, I'd be out getting a good camera too, like that, Dustin. If I won the lottery. And yours is the Canon M50, isn't it, Dustin? Or M40, something like that. And I did look that up here, and yeah, you're looking at well over $1,000. Yeah, well, Mike's a great one for cinematography. Yeah, I mean, his editing and his photography and filming, it's just brilliant. So yeah, Mike is one who could really teach a hell of a lot about that. But yeah, I was looking at that one, Dustin, and you know, on the second-hand site, I'm looking at about 1,500 here. Yeah, well, I think it's probably cheaper over your way than what they are here. But yeah, I was just really surprised at how expensive they are here. But then, of course, you know, the new price is more expensive here too. And I think it's just on sales volumes. You know, Australia, small population for a huge landmass, so everything just costs the earth here. And actually, if they let us, I think like a trip to Singapore or a trip to Thailand or wherever to buy a camera would be worthwhile instead of buying them here. Just, you know, everything just so expensive, and it's even probably got worse since all this stuff started, because they're not even flying much stuff in anymore. It's all coming by ship. Well, I better think about shutting this live stream off. I've got to catch up on my rest, because I did run my premiere from my other video that I put up at 3 a.m. this morning. So, of course, I had to be awake for the premiere to, you know, answer any questions or chat with my viewers during the premiere. Then slept for a couple of hours, then woke up at 6, had a shower, and started this live stream at 6:30. And it's now, I think it's about 9:05 a.m. or 9:07. Oh yes, some Wichita grubs for the next live stream, yeah. I don't know where I'd order them from. But yeah, if somebody's going to donate, and I think I'd need a bit of donations in my coffee account to do it. I wouldn't do it just for like $10 or $20. Oh, you're welcome, Wild. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you, Mike. Thank you, Dustin. I did see Todd earlier, so a big thank you to Todd. Karen, I know you've had to go and do something, Karen, but a big thank you to you. And whoever else I've missed, I'm going to thank you all for coming. And I wish you all a great day or a good night. And take care. God bless. And until next time, bye-bye. Yeah, thank you. See you. Love you all.